Good morning, welcome to Lukashівці. This is the second year of the International Building Camp. I returned after 5 months working here last year for another season of Repair Together International Building Camp. This community has really welcomed us, and it was beautiful to come back here again and see all the people and all the neighbours from the village.
What are you doing?
Coffee. Most time we've no electric.
Ah.
So we improvise. So this is the IMBUT, the International Building Camp of Repair Together, and this organisation and camp is set up for volunteers to help to rebuild houses in the Чернігова region. We started here last year, actually 2 years ago. We started an international camp last year, and last year we had over 600 volunteers through IMBUT. Volunteers come here sometimes for 2-3 days, sometimes they come for a week, and they can end up staying for months on end.
We managed to here we are. You can Yes.
I was very happy to meet this organisation because I wanted to come and help to build houses, and they needed a builder to help them to build houses, so it works very well together. So they helped me to do what I want to do, and I helped them to do what they want to do, so it's a good mix. We work together as a good team. The volunteers that come here come from all over the world, and it's more or less a mix of 50-50 international and 50% Ukrainians. Just timber on top of the joists. Move the timber and stack it maybe down the middle. Leave it so you have air circulation up in the ceiling.
What's your name?
William.
Maybe William and second.
McCullough.
Where are you from?
Ireland.
Your name, please?
Philip Lupinski.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
Teacher. I've been in Ukraine now for 18 months. Was a volunteer for a year out in the east, and now I'm living in Kyiv. Teacher, so summer holidays, back to volunteering.
My family is Polish, so I feel like there's a need to help out with what's going on right now, so I'm spending 2 months here to help build houses. So.
When I came first, I was very focused on just work. And then I started to change my perspective on this whole experience of what we're doing. It's not just about the work, it's not just about building houses. It's about the community here. It's the people in the village, and it's very important for them that they realise that there are so many international people coming here to help them. They feel it gives them hope that they're not forgotten. People coming here from all different aspects. Some people come here to learn more English. Some people come here because all their friends have left the cities and they have no friends left in Kyiv. Some people come here to get away from all the trouble in Kyiv. We try to structure the camp that we wake you up in the morning, we give you breakfast, we give you instruction, we bring you to a job site, we give you the tools, we give you lunch, we give you dinner, we give you a tent, we give you a bed, we give you all the necessary things that you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to think about tomorrow. We try to get it into a routine so people can become more relaxed. I'm a carpenter by trade, and last year I drove here with all my construction tools. The Jeep that I brought was an old green Land Rover. Unfortunately, after 5 months in Ukraine, the Jeep died when I got back to Ireland. So I've bought a new Jeep this year, which is far more comfortable for these bumpy roads in Lukashівці. I came here with, my ambition was to come and help for 4 weeks. And when I came, one of the very first houses I worked on, where I met you last year, was Baba Pananadia's house beside the church. And when I first met her, she reminded me of my auntie, my godmother. And it really struck an emotional chord with me. I thought to myself that if that was my auntie, if that was Bernie, would anybody come and help her? And that was one of the huge deciding factors why I couldn't leave. I seen her as being my auntie, my own flesh and blood, and I thought that what happened to her was so horrific, and she was left with no house, and that I have the ability to help her and help repair together to replace her house. When you're in Lukashivka working, you work hard, and in that way you kind of, it's almost like a meditation, that you kind of detach from some of the things that are going on in the rest of the world, and you're just focused on rebuilding homes for people and how much that means to these people.
Summer you're here and then you come to Ireland and you live your life. Is it hard to switch?
Yeah.
And what do you do during period in Ireland?
So my return trip to Ireland last year, we finished the camp in Lukashivka on the 25th of November, and it's a 6-day drive back to Ireland. And in those 6 days, when you're travelling on your own in the Jeep driving back, it's a time to reflect on all the things that happened during the year, all the over 600 volunteers that you met. And it takes a time to adjust to going back to Ireland, where people in Ireland sometimes don't understand what's happening in Ukraine, and it's not in the news as much, unfortunately. And when you go back, it is hard to readjust. It's hard to relax, because you've been here and you're living in a tense environment all the time. And when you go back to Ireland, it's very different. It's hard to explain.
Did you meet any Russians in Ireland?
No, but the people in Ireland hugely support what's going on. Irish history and Ukrainian history have a lot in common. We both had struggles with neighbours trying to conquer us. And Ireland has a lot of sympathy for what's happening here in Ukraine, more so probably than some of the other European countries. But we're a very small country. Like, we have a population of less than 7 million. So we're a very small country, but we had a lot of Ukrainians came to Ireland because we're an English-speaking country. We allowed Ukrainians to enter Ireland without passports and without visas. I think for Ukrainians as well, they wanted to get as far away from Ukraine as possible, and for them to be also going to a neutral country as well. Because in the first few weeks of this invasion, nobody knew where it was going to stop. If Ukraine hadn't stopped Russia from entering Kyiv and pushed them back, if Russia had marched across Ukraine, would they have stopped there? Would they have went into Poland and kept going? We don't know. We don't know. So that's why I think Ukrainians wanted to travel as far away from Ukraine as possible to be safe. And Ireland was a good country to do that. If I thought that Ukraine could not possibly win this war, I would not be here. And I think that people need to remember that when this started, the Ukrainian army didn't have enough helmets, enough body armour, they didn't have HIMARS and Patriots, and they didn't have Bradleys and F-16s. They started to defend their country with a minute amount to stand up to what we thought was one of the biggest armies in the world. And they would not give up. They were outgunned, outmanned, but they would not give up. And Ukraine will not give up.
Really hot, so use a little more water in the sun. About that much. My name's Ben. My last name is Parnyuk. So if you're Ukrainian, I'm Ben Alexandrovich Parnyuk. My father was born in a displaced persons camp in Germany in 1946, and he immigrated when he was a small boy to Buffalo, New York, when he was about 5. So 1952, roughly. I always wanted to come to Ukraine, but I think thankfully I found this place. I don't think there's any other organizations that are rebuilding homes from foundations to finishing work. So there's a lot of personal growth here. I'm learning a lot of skills, but I'm staying and coming back over and over just because people need homes and there's a severe injustice in the world. And if I have the time and the energy, I think more people should be out here and helping complete these projects.
It is like 34, 36 degrees, so we wear damp towels on our heads to keep ourselves cool, because it keeps the sun off the back of your neck. It just makes it more comfortable for working. It's not the best look, but it's very practical and functional.
У нас був тут прильот града, прилетів град сюди, тут було вікно у старому будинку і ми сиділи в підвалі, але загасити всю пожежу було неможливо. Я дуже вдячна всім волонтерам, найбільше Оуену, який організував цю всю толоку, який будує для мене будинок з допомогою всіх небайдужих людей, які приїхали з усього миру нам робити. Мене нема слів, я не можу висказати всієї вдячності за їхню роботу, за їхню тяжку працю, в таку жару, в такій обстановці. Я не знаю, що можна сказати ще.
And they come here and they sit around a fire with a huge group of people, and you realize when you sit around the fire at night that the people who come here and they're the most select group of people you'll meet in the world. I could sit on an airplane with any of these volunteers for 10 hours and I would find nothing in common. We don't go to the same school, they're all much older than me, we don't have the same education, we don't speak the same native language, we don't follow the same sports or hobbies. But when we come here, we all come here and we travel from far, far away to come here to work, to rebuild houses for people we never met before. And there's no algorithm or anything could ever put us together. When we come here, you will find that you will make friends here that will last a lifetime.